Hello, it's Chris and Derek here working on the 52 Studebaker. Today we're going to try and do the steering column and universals and that. So we went and bought two of these because we figured we need two. We've got an original shaft. And this is the original column out of our parts one. We just finished cutting it down. So this is going to be just below the floor line. We still have to shorten the shaft. It's too long for what we need. And that's our stock Dakota front front steering. We even got a bearing, hanger bearing, just because we figure we're gonna need that off the frame to support the steering. So right now we basically got to shorten the shaft, figure out where or how figure out how long we got to go for the shaft, because we don't want it too long and we definitely don't want it too short. Easier that way. There we go. So I'll stick it in. Well, actually, we're gonna have to. It's too long to even. It hits the frame, so we're just gonna cut off that much for now, and then we'll go from there. See if we have to cut more, but we'll probably end up cutting it just below the tube there. And then we plan on putting a bearing in there, probably just a aluminum bronze bearing that Derek will make up. So that'll get rid of that. There's already a bearing on the top, so that's. So I think we'll just cut this shaft just so we can get it actually in the truck and not hitting the frame. So get face shield. And this is just a preliminary cut. We're going to have to cut it again. This is just to get it in the ballpark. Finally. We should be able to make this fit in. Okay, so that's gonna go somewhere like that. We just gotta work on it. Okay, we just finished shortening our shaft, and Derek also made this little adapter. It's basically same as a D shaft for the same as that, and then he turned down that, so that's going to go in there in our steering shaft. For right now, we're just going to tack weld that just in case we have to move it. Then later on, we'll basically just weld it and even drill a hole in here and then plug weld it. But for right now, it's just going to be tack, just a good tack, so we can actually, if something catastrophically engineered wrong, we can move it. Okay. That's not moving anywhere. Then that will slide onto there. Got set screws there. And then we also can shorten that if we need to, depending on the angle. More test fitting now. Alright, so what Derek just did, he just cut the original shaft a little bit shorter, and that will cut down on our angle going to the other U-joint. So we got the steering column pretty much. We can raise that if we need to, but our other shaft, we have to make a shaft.
What did I do with that?
It's underneath.
Do I have it?
It's underneath the car somewhere.
Oh, I cut it. Oh, right by the foot. No.
We lost it. Oh, here we go.
Okay, found it. Got long
Of course,
enough, or I gotta
it's.
use another one?
Oh, I think that'll be maybe. It'll be.
I have another one. Too short. Well, yeah, too short. Cause I need.
Yeah, because that's going to go up just a bit anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Alright, I'll use that other one I have.
Okay. And then this can even go down a little bit further if we need to. That can go up if we need to. So we got a little wiggle room. And we just, Derek's just using 3/4 inch shaft material and just basically putting it on the mill and grinding both ends, putting a D in it.
Right now, right there.
And that's just grind, same way on this side. Exciting stuff.
It'll take a while.
Okay, so we've tried to mock up a steering column or a steering linkage. We came up with this. Derek made a shaft, and we had the two U-joints. Well, actually, a third U-joint down here, the original one. We had a hanger bearing there. We just welded a box steel so we can get a wrench in there and tighten that up, raise and lower it. But it didn't quite work out. We were basically putting the cart before the horse because this moved around. We didn't have this solid and the angles aren't perfect. so it's binding. So what we ended up doing, we made that. That's gonna slip over the steering column and basically mount on the floor there, so we can drill holes right to the floor. That will make that solid to the firewall. And we also made up a little steering hanger. Made our own one because the original one, it's all cracked and it wasn't going to work. It brought it down too much. We wanted to bring the steering wheel up. Oop, there goes garbage. So we decided to make our own instead of, well, obviously buying. We usually try and make it before we buy it in most cases. So we're gonna put this in because now we got the top of the steering column locked in. This is gonna lock the bottom in, and then I think I'm gonna X this out of there. I'm gonna try and move this over to here somehow, because when we were moving the steering wheel, it was still flopping around a bit. But first things, stabilize the steering column. We're working ahead too much. Okay, so we played around with the steering a bit. We made our plate here. I showed you that. We bolted that in. So it's stabilized that. We've got the top of the steering column stabilized, so that doesn't move. I decided to leave this hanger bearing here, just because it seems to work good there. I played around with the different size shafts, moving these back and forth to get different angles here and here. We were having a problem with this angle on this original one. This one's good, and then this one's slightly tight, but it's decent. So we got it to work. Right now the tires are off the ground, just making it easier. So it works nice, but when you put weight on the tires, this one flops around just like 1/8 of an inch, just like that. So we're gonna get another Heim joint mounted on here and go right there, and that will stabilize that. But that's yeah, we can't get those in the city, so that's a Amazon thing, so we'll order one of those. It won't be done today, but yeah, it seems to work. No binding. So that's good. We haven't put all the little set screws or anything in there, and so that's almost done for the steering. We just gotta, we'll clean this up and make it better looking, but that's about it. I think the next thing we're gonna do is right now the cab isn't bolted down, so we're gonna bolt that down and yeah, start working on other stuff. So I think we'll just leave this video as is on the steering column. So that worked out fairly good. Took a little bit of trial and error. Because I made this adjustable up and down, and so everything can be moved, and took a little while to get it in the right spot. And it's away from the manifold, away from the suspension, so that's good. So if you like this, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you on the next video.